Hello. Good afternoon. Thank you for that life-changing, world-changing song. Eh, I'll spare you my singing. So, here we go. Most of the people who know me here know that sometimes I struggle to find the right words to describe a story, a feeling, or a thought. I'm always worried if what I'm saying is the right thing. Then I worry if my wondering causes me to say the wrong thing. And then I confuse myself. So you might wonder, what is she doing giving a speech? I'm wondering the same thing. But this experience of giving a speech sums up my experience at COA. Doing things I never thought I would do, things I thought I was bad at, but said yes to anyway, and then often realizing that maybe, yes, I was bad at them, or on occasion that I was good at them, and most importantly, those things that whether I was bad or good at them, I really enjoyed doing. Either way, I learned something about myself in the end. So here I am, and whether I found the right words and whether I pronounce the words correctly, I'll attempt to send some of my words back with you today. And the good thing is that it will all be over in 5 minutes. Or so I hope. As I was writing this speech, the question that I kept coming back to was, why is it so hard to speak? Why is it so hard to find the words, the correct ones? Is there even such a thing? When thinking about what to say today, I had two ideas. The first was to talk about human ecology. When I am asked what I study at COA, and I know I am not the only one who gets this question, I say the words human ecology, and I generally receive two kinds of reactions. The first reaction is for people to nod and pretend they know what human ecology is, just like my parents have been doing for the past 4 years. The second reaction is to ask, but what is it that you're really studying? And now for the second group, I have a little speech that goes something like, human ecology is a self-designed curriculum where students create their own interdisciplinary degree and sometimes focus on something. For example, I focused on women's health. Most people remain confused, and at this point, I hope they don't ask me, so what types of jobs can you get as a human ecologist? That's a simple question, right? I think it's so simple I don't need to answer. It actually has become more and more difficult to answer simple questions for me, because I learned during my time at COA to listen carefully to questions, to analyze what the questions mean, and to ask what other questions they lead to. So if you ask me a question, such as what job I can get as a human ecologist, and I just stare at you in silence for 5 minutes, you know what might be happening in my mind. But that has been the point of human ecology for me. I cannot go around the questions, I have to go through them, which is always harder. I am happy to say that I am graduating alongside people who struggle with language, who linger around with more questions about questions, who think of what is behind what they do or say. A group of people who struggle to answer a simple question rather than answering it simply. And so the second idea I had for this speech was to talk about our common experience of being students at COA. However, I found that this was equally difficult. It is hard to speak about an experience that is at least as much about difference as it is about having things in common. I was trying to find something we could all relate with, but I realized that I was thinking of relating in terms of commonality. So instead, I asked myself, what does it mean to relate in terms of difference rather than in terms of sameness? For example, What does it mean for different women to gather and talk about their different experiences as women when that word, woman, has different meanings for each one of them? What they have in common is the word, the category. But as I found in my senior project, there are different meanings behind that word. What it means to be a woman or represent woman is exactly the question. What I've learned here at COA is to think of difference as a central point of reference. Part of being human is that our experiences are contradicting and diverse. As for the graduating class, our experiences here have also been diverse and complicated, with immense positive outcomes and some not so good either. Apart from the fact that we're all here today, our paths have been far from the same. We've asked different questions along the way. We had different opinions. The content we have grappled with has been different for each person. For some people, this education has cost a lot of money. For others, it has meant student loans, and some received more aid than in any other school. Some of us barely made it to the stage. Some of us knew we were going to make it before we started our senior project. Some of us took longer to get here than others. But in this day of celebration and of feeling accomplished, I want us to remember and also celebrate the fact that most of what has gotten us here entail a great deal of effort, uncertainty, and failures. Maybe you can relate with me when I talk about my struggle with language. It might make you feel uncertain and uneasy to think about the way you use language. We may all feel inadequate at times with our ability to communicate. But I hope this inadequacy follows us for the rest of our lives, because this is what allows us to be critical about what we're doing, where we're standing, how we're analyzing our analysis, and it is also what allows us to move forward into the recreation of a world of different meanings, of inconformity, to create a world in which we keep failing to explain ourselves. And that's okay, because it is necessary to struggle with language, as we are also struggling with creating a new world of meanings. So, in planning this speech, I realized that it was both hard to talk about human ecology and also to talk about our common experience as students. So I decided, in the few minutes that I have left, I would simply share with you what has been on my mind recently. In the past week, I have gone through a roller coaster of emotions. I am relieved to be done, nostalgic because we might see each other again, but never in the same terms as before. Excited for whatever lies ahead for each of my classmates, tired after a term of senior project, and finally this week, super rested, meeting people's families, showing my family the place that became my home for these 4 years, and the people that made it a home, loving this place more than ever. But I am also ready for somewhere else. Sometimes I have a little bit of regret of the things I didn't get to do, but I am also grateful for the things I got to do. In the end, I can say that there are two things I am certain about. First, that I am ready to cross the stage. And second, that no matter what comes next, I will miss staff, professors, and friends. I will miss those people that have shared laughter, tears, craziness, late nights, ocean swims, dancing bodies, and words with me. Congratulations. Thank you.